And do we have time to talk about the movie you saw in the hotel room that you really, really enjoyed?
I enjoyed it.
We started this late in the show yesterday.
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I watched it on the hotel, movie thing. It was a good movie. I think if I didn't know the end, I would have really enjoyed it. But even not knowing the end as it went on, and I was trying not to like it because other people were saying it was a bad movie. So when certain parts came up and I was laughing, and then I realized, why am I laughing? This is kind of a good movie. It was called The Village. I watched The Village.
Norton's giving you a look. Anthony liked The Village.
Jimmy!
The movie you trashed about a week and a half ago on the program.
I watched The Village, and if I didn't know the end, I probably would have been like, oh my God, this movie is fantastic. But since I knew the end, I was like, what? There is nothing wrong with this movie. It is a good movie. I thought, okay, the acting wasn't all that hot, but the story, how it was presented, I had no problem with it. And then there was one part where Joaquin is doing that thing we've all been goofing on. I hadn't seen the movie, so I too was goofing on it. The whispering thing, where Jimmy says that he's such a bad actor that instead of being dramatic or intense, he just whispers. Yeah. Why do I have to whisper? Because I stink. So I'm laughing when he's whispering. This scene comes up, and he's whispering. I'm like, what a tool. I got my rah-rah, go Jimmy banner in one hand, my Jimmy This Movie Sucks hat on my head, and I'm laughing at everything. And then I'm realizing, wait a minute. He's whispering because he's on a porch, and people are sleeping in the house inside.
I know. I understood the reason for it. I knew why in the scene he was whispering.
Okay.
But I'm talking about when somebody is expressing passion, and the only way they can do it is by doing it like that. It was atrocious.
I didn't see him expressing passion that way. I saw him whispering on the porch, and I saw him whispering when he was trying to put a point across that maybe wasn't going to be accepted around people. And it was kind of like he had to keep it to himself a little bit that he wanted to do certain things. And then he would go into that whisper thing, which I did get a good chuckle.
What was it that he had wanted to do that he didn't want people to know? Finally take an acting class? That when they're sitting on the porch and that cornball dialogue, and she's going, she's going, why can't you never speak things that are on your mind? Why must you always speak with things? It was horrendously written. It was even more poorly acted. It was terrible. I wanted to love that movie when I saw it, dude. I wanted to love it. I like him.
I thought because it was a period piece, which it was. Even
though,
a
big bloody stain on the front of a dress. That's exactly what it was. It stunk like copper and mushrooms.
I didn't see it that way. I saw it as a period piece, which kind of was why the acting, I think, was like that. Why it was presented like that. I don't know if the acting was so bad, or if it was just it's supposed to be kind of 1800s-ish.
It was. But have you ever seen Anthony Hopkins do 1800s? Have you ever seen Gary Oldman do 1800s? They're guys that can act. If you're going to do 1800s, do 1800s. But if you can't do 1800s, there's nothing worse than, why must I go there? It was just terrible.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Didn't you find it a little weird when the blind girl had to go to the village? Or
well,
whatever,
I found that a little...
To the town or whatever it was to get the medicine?
I did find that a little weird, but she did seem to have a certain perception that was above and beyond your normal blind person, and also...
But she wouldn't be the first choice to go heading out into the woods.
It obviously is the first choice, because she was the one that could have gone without seeing things and taking it back and saying, I saw a motor vehicle, saw these wonderful things. So she obviously was the best person suited to go, because she wouldn't come back with info.
But meanwhile, they're sending a blind chick into the woods because they're all crime victims and they're worried about their families. So what do? Even though you know that there's no monsters, you just send the blind girl aimlessly into the woods somewhere and hope she finds the road and then doesn't realize that there's a car picking her up and then just makes her way back over a fence. It stunk, and he should be gutted for it. Everything, dude, everything...
I didn't find it that bad.
And why didn't one of the guys that knew the whole scam go for the medicine?
Absolutely.
One of the elders?
One of the elders that knew what this whole village was about.
I know why.
That's a good idea. Why?
Because he was too scared?
No, they were just too heartbroken what had happened in the world, so they couldn't bear to face it. So meanwhile, send the blind girl through the woods at 3 o'clock in the morning. She won't trip on anything and catch her neck in a branch. It was terrible.
She had to go because she was in love with the Joaquin.
Yeah.
And she was the one that...
And he had been stabbed by Adrian Brody,
right?
Who should stab himself after winning the Oscar and then performing in that hunk of shit.
Well, him as
the little wacky costumes didn't throw you. That actual almost adult teenagers were scared by the wacky costumes. Some douchey elder yelling boogaloo.
Did they actually say boogaloo?
No.
I might have had the sound down.
Had they yelled boogaloo, it would have added more integrity to the monster character.
He's beating you up pretty good, Anthony.
I understand.
He's beating you up pretty good.
I didn't find it that bad.
I didn't mind the movie.
I thought it was kind of he had a little message in there about how today it's better to keep your society in fear of something to keep them in control.
That was not his message. His message was, your first film is always your best, and it's downhill after that. That was his message. I understood he tried to put a message in, but that annoyed me in a way. If a social message is organically inserted into a film and it makes sense, or when it's done, it's too cute or it's too forced, it insults my intelligence, and it makes me very angry.
That makes me very angry. I thought it was not a bad movie at all, and I thought the double twist thing, you thought you had the twist when you realized the elders were the ones that were dressing as the monster, but the twist is that they weren't.
Do we have any acting clips from that, though?
They weren't.
Maybe now that you've seen it, you can even look at it in context. Any acting clips? We don't have that?
We'll have to go back to the acting clips when we get to New York tomorrow. We do have to go to the phone.
As bad as Jimmy's presenting it as the worst movie ever made.
And that's giving it credit.
Well, we'll continue the discussion tomorrow when we get the acting clips, okay?
We have G. Gordon Liddy.
Yeah, we got to say hi to G. Gordon Liddy. He's on the hotline, Anthony.
Oh, the hotline.